It's time to handle Bathurst, round 5 of the Zero Championship. This is the Weekday series, Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, starting roughly 9:30-ish is when the qualifying starts. So if you're looking to join us, that's kind of the time frame you're looking at for the Wednesday series. A bit of a glitch in the replay, so I'm going to have to do an interesting walk down the grid. With the free cam, because for some reason a couple of cars on the starting grid are invisible. Hopefully that's not a problem when we go in the race, but we'll see. On pole, Jason Monds, the Ice Watch Zagato Piston car, and his teammate Mike Mark on the front row. Notable because this is Jason Monds' 14th career pole, which is the most in Zero history, so a new record has been achieved. Congratulations. On row 2, we have Genghiz of Golden Bolt Racing, and John Slow Racing's Martin Lauer, finally physically able to race with us. Good to see him on the grid. We are so happy to have him returning. Row 3, Alex Hayes in the BMW M6 there, the red car, independently run Hayes Racing, and Wesley Stokes for Team Shosha. And of course, this is the part where the free cam stops working properly. Great. So we're going to have to give you a kind of crappy rundown of the grid here. Okay, so row 4 is Dule Markovic, Zagato Piston BMW Z4, and Michael Schneider in the McLaren 650S there, the orange car. Further back, Rick Martel in the black BMW with blue highlights, and it is Dean Reimers alongside him in the black BMW with kind of teal highlights. Mike Magasevic is on row 6 with the black BMW with green highlights, and the McLaren 650 of Alan Anhels with them. And at the back is the Red Bull BMW of Mark Clapp Zule. So, we have achieved the free cam. Now let's kick this off. You can see what I mean is it skips over like second, first, and third place with the grid. 13 cars on the grid, and we're off. Here we go. Mike Mark got a good start. Jason Monds, also a pretty good start. Martin Lauer, good start. And it's going to be Monds who leads into the first corner. See if anyone... Markovic getting a little wide there. Oh! Dean Reimers and Mike Magasevic, the Golden Bolt teammates, have collected each other. It looks like Alan Anhel may have also had a bit of a problem. Up at the front, Mike Mark has gotten past his teammate into the lead. He leads from Jason Monds, Genghiz, Martin Lauer, Alex Hayes, and Wesley Stokes in the breakaway group. Then it's Markovic. Clapp Zule getting brushed up a little bit by Martel. That slips in behind Martel and Mike Schneider. And then the out of the points cars are Anhel, Magasevic, and Reimers. Genghiz having a little bit of a problem there. Loses third place to Martin Lauer. By the way, 4 Canadians in the top 4. Pretty good day for the Frozen North. Alex Hayes, the top non-Canadian at the moment. Also, apologies if you hear like an ESPN sound in the background. I've got the fantasy football site open, so it may... Whoa! Genghiz losing control of the car, and that's pretty much everyone coming through. Magasevic was in 12th place. We saw him going through there. And actually, Clapp Zule was in 12th place. He had dropped back. So, yeah, Jason Monds, in the meantime, lost in that, has taken the lead. So let's take a look at how that transpired in the downhill section. Genghiz losing control of the car. Looks like Mike Mark may have made a mistake. He's dropped quite a bit back. Either that or he was pushed wide, perhaps? Alright, so he makes a mistake. He gets... Helps we don't skip forward too far. I've completely messed this up. So we're going to the uphill section to see where the lead changes hands. Is where we're going. This is not the greatest replay commentary we've had. Saw Genghiz going off in the back. So here it is. So what it is it looks like Mike Mark is going to get a little bit too much curb there, go wide onto the grass, lose some speed, and Monds is going to go through into the lead of the race. Championship leader, Jason Monds. Genghiz Khan, or I think Genghiz Khan is actually the leader. But a tight battle between Khan and Monds coming into this race, and Genghiz Khan has been the first to make a mistake. So we're into the third sector. It is Jason Monds leading from Mike Mark. This will be an 8-lap race. Martin Lauer is in third place, followed by Alex Hayes, Dule Markovic, who's made up a couple spots, including one over Wesley Stokes. Stokes back in 6th. 7th, Martel. 8th, Schneider. 9th, Angel. 10th, Magasevic. 11th is Zule. 12th is Reimers. And 13th is Genghiz Khan. Bathurst, by the way, just an absolutely fantastic track. If you've never tried racing here, you do owe it to yourself. It's incredibly challenging without having the frustration of, say, a Macau to destroy you. But that middle sector is very tight. So Monds across the line first to lead after lap 1. He's got Mike Mark and Martin Lauer behind him. Then it's Alex Hayes for Hayes Racing. Then it's Dule Markovic in the Zagato Piston. 3 Zagato Pistons in the top 5. Top Shosha car, Wesley Stokes, followed by his teammate Rick Martel. Michael Schneider in the MMS engineering car. And then it's Alan Angel, Fallen Angel Racing, and Mike Magasevic for Golden Bolt. 3 Golden Bolts, and they're in the back 4. Not a good day for them. Spalding RT's Mark Zule is in 11th place, and then it's Reimers and Khan. Heading up the hill, still in the lead for Zagato Piston, Jason Monds. He has won here before. Had a win during Season 3 here in the DTMs. So he's looking to add a second Bathurst win to his resume. That would make him a multiple-time Bathurst winner, which I believe Matthew Wheeler is the only other multiple Bathurst winner. Behind him, it's his teammate Mike Mark, still trying to make this Zagato Piston 1-2. He's got Martin Lauer all over the back of him. Martin Lauer excited to be back after some health problems. Alex Hayes doing well in 4th place. You wouldn't think that the M6 would necessarily be the best car for this track, but he is delivering at the moment. Wesley Stokes has gotten past Dule Markovic for 5th place, and Michael Schneider has gotten past Rick Martel. So we're gonna have a look at this. Got too far back. So let's see what happened with Stokes and Markovic and Martel and Schneider. It looks like we're gonna have something coming up. It looks like Markovic is gonna make a mistake, is what this boils down to. Okay, so running it through here, Dule Markovic in 5th place, followed by Stokes, Martel, and Schneider. Just gets wide and gets into the wall, it looks like, and gives Wesley Stokes a run. So he gets through. And then how did Schneider... by the way, the McLaren 650S, an excellent car around here. How did Schneider get around Martel? So Martel's looking for a move on Markovic. Gets a little bit wide, and then into the wall himself. So kind of a sympathy moment, and he loses 7th place to the McLaren. Back at the front, Jason Monds is opening up a gap. Maybe a little bit of team orders in play here. Maybe Mike Mark holding up the field a little bit. I don't know. But he's got Martin Lauer and Alex Hayes in very close company. I would say any of these 4 cars could still be in line for the victory here. Wesley Stokes is in 5th place, followed by Dule Markovic, 6th place. 7th place for Michael Schneider, and 8th place for Rick Martel. Martel looking for maybe a move here on Schneider. Martel going to the inside. Nope, nothing there, nothing there. Into the heavy braking zone. This is where McLaren should have the advantage. They're very good on the brakes. So no move to be made there. Martel, though, seems the faster one. Angel having a little journey off track, and Magasevic making some ground up. Zule and Dean Reimers. This will be a fierce battle. Anyone who's ever raced with Mark Zule is aware of his prodigious defensive ability. Always in for a war when around him on the track. In the meantime, Jason Monds still out in the lead in Lap 3. Alex Hayes is dropping off the battle for the lead a little bit. Mike Mark and Martin Lauer opening a bit of gap to him. Schneider's gotten a little bit clear of of Martel, but problems there for Schneider opening the door. That being said, there's not a lot of opportunities to make an overtake without a mistake on the uphill section here. Bathurst is not a track with a tremendous number of overtaking opportunities. So that's why qualifying is very important. And that's why Genghiz Khan's comeback from the back of the field is going to be very difficult, despite his third-place qualifying effort. Jason Monds still in the lead, heading down the hill on lap 3. Mike Mark still holding off Martin Lauer, but you feel that Lauer he seems a bit stronger on the uphill section and at the top of the hill. It seems like Mark is able to pull away here in the straights, maybe running a little bit less downforce. But in the twisty bits, he's not really the equal of Lauer. That being said, in the twisty bits, there's not a lot of opportunities to make a pass. So the question becomes, where does Lauer make a pass if he is indeed faster than Mark? Michael Schneider still with Rick Martel keeping him company in the battle for 7th place. I believe this would be Schneider's best finish if he were to hold this position. Alan Angel having a fantastic race after qualifying 12th. He is in 9th place. He's got to be happy with that. The Guatemalan for Fallen Angel Racing. Mike Magasevic is holding down 10th place ahead of a guy who's having a pretty underrated race, Mark Zule. He's up to 11th from 13th on the grid, and Dean Reimers in 12th place. Reimers looking for a move up the inside into turn 1. Genghiz Khan is behind him in 13th, by the way, and he is through. Will he slide live? Will Zule have the switch back? Oh, he is very off. That's going to open the door back for Mark Zule to take back 11th place. Monds still in the lead, heading up the hill. He's still got his teammate Mike Mark for company, and Martin Lauer. Lauer brushing up against the wall there. Alex Hayes, the independently run Hayes Racing Team, 4th place, BMW M6. And then Wesley Stokes for Team Shosha, still in 5th place. Followed by Dule Markovic in the 3rd Zagato Piston car. Heck of a performance from Zagato Piston so far, with 3 in the top 6. Michael Schneider opening up a gap to Team Shosha's Rick Martel. And then, like I said, Alan Angel still having a fantastic day. This has got to be one of his better races of the season, to be attacking Bathurst with such efficiency and really making the most of a track that is admittedly favorable to the McLaren 650Ss, but this is definitely a track where you've got to be on your game as a driver to really make any car work. Mike Magasevic still holding the last points-paying position ahead of Mark Zule and Dean Reimers, and it looks like Genghiz Khan has had another moment. Let's have a look at what happened here. So he's heading into the big drop here. He's been catching up to the cars ahead of him, and just kind of loses the grip. Spins it around. Very unfortunate. Jason Monds still leading the way. Would be a big deal for him to pick up a win here while Khan struggles in their championship battle. And again, Lauer's back up on the bum of Mike Mark after a little bit of Mark managing to open up a gap. It's contracting again. Like I said, I think the problem is these two cars are not equally strong at any point on the track. They have different strong points based on their setup. And driver, to a degree, I think, also. And that's why this battle's been kind of yinging back and forth. Alex Hayes just unable to keep up with the Z4s today, it seems. Slipping a little bit back there, but still 4th place strong. Wesley Stokes is in 5th place, followed by Markovic, and then the battle between Schneider and Martel. Dean Reimers has somewhere along the line managed to get past Mark Zule for 11th place. It's a big deal for him as he tries to move forward. Haven't really talked about the Academy Cup much in this race, so let's do a quick rundown of the Academy Cup standings. Dule Markovic is the top man, 6th place at the moment. Michael Schneider's in second, followed by Alan Angel. This would be, I believe, his first podium in the Academy Cup. Mike Magasevic is in fourth place. Fifth place for Reimer, and that's it. There's only 5 on the grid today. Mark Labzul having a problem. That's going to allow Genghiz Khan through. Let's go have a look at that. Looks like he just gets the braking point wrong, loses the back end. And of course, it's reasonably difficult to recover from some accidents at parts of this track because of how narrow it is at points. But that will slop him to the back of the pack. Action coming on. I think the play for second's coming on here. Martin Lauer. We've been wondering where can he get past Mike Mark. And he's right on his bumper now. Is there a move to be made here? This is a very high-speed corner coming up. Lauer's going to the outside, trying to go around. He'll be the inside for the braking zone, though. And he's got it! That is a fantastic overtake for Martin Lauer. Welcome back, sir. Alex Hayes still watching on from fourth place. See if Mike Mark has anything to come back at him. I think Hayes has actually been closing the gap a little bit, too. Maybe smells a chance for a podium, perhaps. And another battle that's been going on for quite some time is this battle for 7th between Michael Schneider, relatively new to the grid, and veteran Mr. Zero Racing, Rick Martel, the institution of Zero Racing. Alan Angel still holding on to 9th, and then it's the Golden Bolt train. Magasevic, Reimers, and Khan. Heading up the hill here on lap 6 of 8. Jason Monds, he has led mostly since the start. Started on pole, lost the lead briefly to Mike Mark, his teammate, and has cruised up in front since. Martin Lauer managing to open up a gap in second place over the Zagato Piston of Mike Mark. All Canadian podium at the moment, although the Zagato Piston 1-2 has been broken up by Lauer. Alex Hayes has been in fourth place pretty much the whole race, doing his thing, top independent at the moment. It's a big ask to run a one-car independent team, and Alex Hayes has done a great job. Winner in Mid-Ohio earlier this season. One of 2 independents to take a win this season. Fantastic work. Both those wins actually at Mid-Ohio, interestingly enough. Wesley Stokes, 5th place. Really is kind of coming into his own as an elite driver in Zero Racing. The leader for Team Shosha, Dule Markovic, in the 3rd Zagato Piston, is 6th. He's having a fantastic race. Michael Schneider, the new man to the grid, but definitely acquitting himself well, up in 7th place ahead of Rick Martel. We talked about Martel quite a bit earlier. Alan Angel is still holding 9th place. It didn't look like he was really in this at the start. 12th place on the grid, had a bad start, and it's really turned out great for him. He's avoiding making mistakes and doing a fantastic job right now. Mike Magasevic is in 10th place ahead of Dean Reimers, his teammate, and Genghiz Khan, their other teammate and championship contender, is catching them. You got to wonder if maybe Golden Bolt will play a little bit of team games to try and get Khan up into the points. It's been a really rough day for him. He qualified P3. It was looking really good. And now currently he's sitting on 0 points. Mark Labzul is bringing up the tail end for Spalding RT. He's the lone Spalding RT entry today. The Spalding RT team is having some problems right now. That would be difficult to deny, and they'll have to look forward to probably some better times. Mike Mark has closed back on Martin Lauer. We were talking about how Lauer had opened up a gap over Mike Mark. Mike Mark is not willing to go away. He's not willing to concede second place. He would still love to be part of a Zagato Piston 1-2. They are definitely the team to beat today. Lauer making a little mistake there, making a little bit of contact. It's going to open up the door towards the bottom of the hill. Doesn't look like Mark is close enough. Maybe he can get a tow down the straight, though, into the high-speed sweeper and the heavy braking zone that is the second last turn of the lap. Now this is where Lauer got Mike Mark, of course. So Lauer knows how to defend against that move, and does so. This is going to be, I think, a battle down to the final lap between these two for second place. Something has happened to Alan Angel. He has fallen out of the mix. Mike Magasevic has moved up to 9th place, with teammate Dean Reimers on his tail, and then Genghiz Khan. Alan is back in 12th place. I can only imagine he made a mistake. He was not particularly close to any car at the time we saw him. Lauer's still holding on to second. I think the other battle here is for 9th place. Reimers, all over the tail of Magasevic. And their teammate, Genghiz Khan. Lauer's still holding on against Mike Mark. I think he's got the gap to do it. So I think the interest is who's going to grab these last 2 points. And Genghiz Khan with a ballsy move on Dean Reimers. As they head up the hill, Reimers got a little bit of grass there. Made a mistake, opened the door, and Genghiz Khan, championship contender, has said, "Thank you very much. I need to make the most of this," and that's a point for Mr. Khan. Jason Monds coming through to take his second victory at Bathurst. Congratulations to Mr. Monds, etching his name as a multi-time winner here. Martin Lauer has just barely held off Mike Mark for second place. 4th place, Alex Hayes. A little bit of a moment coming across the line, but it will get the job done ahead of Wesley Stokes. Dule Markovic in 6th place. The career best finish for Michael Schneider taking home 7th place ahead of Rick Martel. And the interest is here, though. 9th place. Magasevic has got it. Khan has got all kinds of pressure and is going for the move. And Khan is through. Reimers is going to try to go through as well. Khan's got 9th. Magasevic manages to edge Dean Reimers at the line for 10th place and the final points paying position, as well as pole for race 2. Alan Angel was having a fantastic race, and a mistake towards the end is going to put him down as an also-ran. 12th place, 5th in the Academy Cup. So to recap the Academy Cup as well, Markovic wins from Schneider, and Magasevic, Reimers, and Angel. We'll see you for race 2 in just a moment. Alright, it's time for race 2 of the weekday series here from Bathurst. Reverse grid, as per usual. And once again, it's doing that grid thing where I can't really see all the cars. So we're going to do the free cam walk and hope it works a little better this time. And that's really all there is to that. Sorry if I'm making any motion sickness. On the front row, it is all Golden Bolt. The advantage of their poor showing in race 1 is they've got the front row. It's Mike Magasevic in the green and black car and the white car of Genghiz Khan. Row 2, it's going to be Rick Martel in the BMW Z4 and Michael Schneider in the McLaren 650S. And let's try this again, see if we can get the full free cam going. Yes, we can. There we go. So row 3, Dule Markovic in the black and white. In the white, blue, and red, Wesley Stokes. Then it's in the M6, Alex Hayes and Michael Mark in the Z4. And then on row 5, it's Martin Lauer and race 1 winner, Jason Monds. Then it's Dean Reimers in the black and teal car. And the McLaren of Alan Angel on row 6. And the Red Bull BMW of Mark Klapzul brings up the rear. Let's get her underway. Magasevic has historically been a good starter, so we'll see if he can keep the lead into corner 1. Definitely doesn't have the pace to keep these cars behind him, but this is Bathurst. Oh, Rick Martel collecting Dean Reimers there. Really bad start from him. And to the lead, Mike Magasevic holds off Genghiz Khan for now. Jason Monds running wide in the background. And Michael Schneider is up into 3rd place in the McLaren. Khan's got a run here for the lead. He needs a solid performance after a very letdown in race 1, finishing just 9th. He will take the lead here. Mike Magasevic goes a bit wide. Michael Schneider still in 3rd place, but under pressure from Wesley Stokes. Stokes is going to try and move past him, and it's close. It's close. He does. Stokes up into 3rd. Mike Mark into the wall, slowing down. Schneider now under pressure from Alex Hayes for 4th place. Then it's Lauer, Markovic, Klapzul, Angel, Mark, Monds also off to a bad start, Martel, and Reimers. So the gap opened up really quickly at the front. Genghiz Khan trying to scamper away from this was in a 1-2 Golden Bolt. Wesley Stokes up in 3rd place. Magasevic getting into the wall. It's going to lose him a spot at least, and more coming through. Schneider's through cleanly. Hayes bumps him in the butt. Gets a little bit of side-by-side contact with Lauer as well. But Hayes is through into 4th place. That drops him to 5th. He's got Lauer in 6th and Markovic in 7th on his tail. In the background, Mike Mark trying to go around Mark Klapzul. This should be for 8th place, I believe. Alex Hayes getting a bit on the brakes early there, and some physicality as Magasevic forces his way back into 4th place. Hayes is going to try and come back at him. Markovic is in the mix. He's taken Lauer into chaos. Monds has made up a couple of spots. Looks like he's got Angel. Looks like Mark Klapzul maybe had a moment. He's been kind of pushed out of this. Oh! Lauer got into the back, I think, of Mike Mark. Was it Lauer? I'm not sure. Let's ride with Mike Mark and figure that out. It looks like someone got into the back of him. It looked at first glance like it was Martin Lauer. So Lauer going up the inside, thinks better of it, and nudges him. Oh, that's a little bit of sloppy driving. Mike Mark spins out. At the front, with a pretty hefty lead, Genghiz Khan leads the way. Definitely needs a good result here. He's got Wesley Stokes and Michael Schneider in rounding off the podium right now. Mike Magasevic started on pole, back to 4th place now under a huge amount of pressure from Alex Hayes and Dule Markovic. Jason Monds, the race 1 winner, and Martin Lauer also coming. They finished 1-2 in race 1. Looks like Hayes is going to go around the outside. Markovic is going to have a moment and knock himself off. That puts Hayes back into 4th place. Magasevic goes down to 5th. Markovic is holding on to 6th, but I think he's going to find himself under a lot of pressure from Monds and Lauer very shortly. They were the fastest 2 cars in race 1. And Rick Martel, after that terrible start, has worked his way up into 9th ahead of Mike Mark, Mark Klapzul, Dean Reimers, and Alan Angel. Genghiz Khan in the lead. Wesley Stokes, second place. Been a good season for Wesley Stokes. He's showing a little bit more consistency and a little bit more overall pace. Then is Schneider. This would be his first podium. That would be a big deal for the double MS engineering team. He's ahead of Hayes Racing's Alex Hayes, BMW M6. And then it's the Magasevic train. He's got Markovic and Monds right up behind him. Martin Lauer's dropped a little bit back off the pace here. This is a battle for 5th place, 6th place, and 7th. Monds going around the outside of Markovic. Markovic tries to go back on the inside, but Monds is going to have that position. That's 6th place for Monds. A little bit of frame rate problem there. And Lauer's dropped out of there somewhere. We've lost Martin Lauer somewhere. Monds. Oh, Magasevic goes wide. That's going to let Monds through. It's going to let Markovic through. It's going to let Martel through. It's going to at least rejoin ahead of Mark for the moment. So where's Martin Lauer gone? He's back into 12th place. So he's had a problem. Khan still leads from Stokes. Schneider, who's under pressure from Hayes for the final podium. Up into 5th place now, Jason Monds. He's ahead of teammate Dule Markovic, and then Rick Martel in 7th place. 8th place for Mike Mark, who has dealt away with Mike Magasevic, down to 9th for him. And the final points paying position belongs to Mark Klapzul, ahead of Dean Reimers, Martin Lauer, and Alan Angel. Still leading the way here on lap 3. Genghiz Khan, pretty much a leader from more or less turn 2. He took over the lead there from teammate Mike Magasevic and has held it since. He had a pretty good gap. Looks like Wesley Stokes is eating into it, but not at an alarming rate. Michael Schneider still hanging on to that 3rd place. It would be fantastic if he could hang in there against Alex Hayes. Hayes has been on the podium twice and would love to add a 3rd to his collection. Jason Monds has pulled quite a ways away from the battle for 6th between Dule Markovic and Rick Martel. Martel looking for a move, nothing there yet. Mike Magasevic running in behind them in, this would be 8th place. 9th for Klapzul, 10th for Reimers, 11th for Martin Lauer, and it looks like Mike Mark has had another issue. He was in 9th place, or 8th place, I think, and is now back down in 12th. What has happened to the Zagato Piston car, who's having a rough race too here, a podium finisher in race 1, and he's kind of been belted around a little bit here in race 2. Yep, there we go. Oh, God! Alright, this is definitely worth a watch. He gets too much of the curb trying to get past Rick Martel, and he flips it. Lucky to get back on the wheels, and that is a scary moment for Mike Mark. Saw some interesting things at Portimao, but that's definitely the crash of the season for Mike Mark. Genghiz Khan still cruising away to lead the race, heading into lap 4. Wesley Stokes still in 2nd, followed by Michael Schneider and Alex Hayes, having a fantastic battle in 2 very different cars. A little bit of contact there. Hayes has got the position. We'll see if he can hold it. the lightest car in the field in the 650S against the heaviest in the M6. Jason Monds licking his lips watching this battle for third. He would love to make it a double podium today. Markovic still holding on to 6th ahead of Martel and Magasevic. Mark Klapzul, Dean Reimers, continuing what has been a long-standing battle between these two from race 1. Reignited for 9th place. And Martin Lauer and Mike Mark, who battled it out for 2nd place in race 1, are battling it out for 11th, a little further back. Alex Hayes trying to drive away from the McLaren of Michael Schneider. These two were not particularly close together in race 1. Hayes took 4th place ahead of Schneider, who was in 7th. That was the best finish of Schneider's season, and the best Bathurst finish of Alex Hayes' career. He would love to go one better and take the podium here. Had a fantastic start, made up a couple of places. Found himself in 4th place when Mike Magasevic had his moment. Klapzul has seen off another attempt by Reimers, and now Reimers is under pressure from the Canadian duo of Martin Lauer and Mike Mark. Two very fast cars, two cars that qualified in the top 5 and finished on the podium in race 1. This could get interesting. Lauer used this move on Mike Mark in race 1. He's opened the door, and Mark's going to follow him through. Dean Reimers slips back from 10th place to 12th place, just like that. Mark Klapzul getting a little bit wide, and Lauer and Mark suddenly say hello, we're in the points, and thank you very much. And Jason Monds, somewhere along the line, has taken both Michael Schneider and Alex Hayes. I don't even see Schneider, so what has happened here? So let's go figure out what happened to Michael Schneider. It didn't look like he had a tremendous moment like Mike Mark or anything, but definitely something up. Here on lap 5. Looks like, yeah, just gets off on the grass. Loses it. He was on the back of Alex Hayes in a battle for 3rd, and that costs him. But it wouldn't be much better for Hayes as Jason Monds, an absolute predator this season, decided he felt like a podium. Let's see where the Z4 managed to say the M6 may be the wave of the future, but it's not here yet. The Z4 still has some legs. Now it looks like Hayes had a little bit of a moment. Monds got alongside him and just used the superior handling, because keep in mind, despite the M6 being the replacement for the Z4, it is a little clumsier and a little heavier, and the Z4 makes the most of its advantages. Mike Mark's still following Martin Lauer around. Battle for 9th now. Mark Klapzul had a bit of a moment there, and it's going to open the door on the downhill section for Dean Reimers. Goes around the outside and gets the job done. It's 11th place for Dean Reimers, who probably doesn't want to be in 11th place. That's where he finished in race 1, just out of the points, and he would probably dearly love to not have that happen again. At the front, it's been a pretty quiet day for Genghiz Khan. He had a very incident-filled race 1, and it led to him starting second in this race. He's now comfortably in the lead. Wesley Stokes is in second place, and Jason Monds is in third, having opened a little bit of a gap to fourth place Alex Hayes. Michael Schneider still having a fantastic race despite the mistake that has possibly cost him a podium chance, but he is still in 5th, still very solid for the independent MMS engineering team. 6th place for Dule Markovic. It would be fantastic for him to get a really solid weekend under his belt. 2nd in the Academy race at the moment, behind Schneider. Rick Martel, 7th place. Can't really complain with that. And Martin Lauer. Mike Marks had an issue, I think, at some point, and Lauer is going to take 8th place from Magasevic. Magasevic should not... Oh, okay, Mark's still there. Just looks like he's dropped off the back a little bit, maybe at a minor moment. Magasevic thought about making a move there on Lauer, and probably tried, but couldn't make it happen. He's been shuffled back to 9th place after starting on pole now, and he's got Mike Mark to worry about. Magasevic getting a little wide there. We're going to stick with this for a bit because I think this is the most likely move to occur on the track. You've got the very fast car of Mike Mark putting the pressure on Mike Magasevic, and through he goes into 9th place. The battle between Klapzul and Reimers continues, with Klapzul taking back 11th place from the Australian Reimers, who's one of the only hometown racer today, although on Saturday there will be a couple more. They'll look to defend the Australian honor at Bathurst. Ooh, side-by-side in that turn, that's ballsy. But Klapzul's going to come out on top for the moment. Genghiz Khan still off in the lead. Stokes, Monds, Hayes, Schneider, Markovic, Martel. The Lauer and Mike Mark party is starting to come up to Rick Martel, looking to grab 7th place. Lauer getting a little out of shape there. 2nd in race 1. Would definitely love more than an 8th place here in his return. Very good looking Black Bull sponsored car. And the battle, not for points, but for pride, between Mark Klapzul and Dean Reimers continues. Oh, we just missed Mike Magasevic losing it. what happened here. Just gets too much of the curb and smashes into the wall. Ends up on his roof. And he'll get recovered. That's going to drop him back to 12th place and out of the points-paying positions. So you remember how I said the battle between Dean Reimers and Mark Klapzul was not for points? It is now. And meantime, Rick Martel has lost a pair of spots to Lauer and Mark has gotten Lauer. So let's have a look at what happened here. Okay, so it appears Rick Martel makes a little bit of a mistake, bounces off the wall, loses his pace downhill. Lauer's looking to make the move. Martel goes to block him off, and it opens a huge door for Mike Mark. Fantastic work by those three. Well, really by Mike Mark, but Martin Lauer and Rick Martel deserve some credit for not having that end in tears. Genghiz Khan's still in the lead, heading into the final lap. Wesley Stokes now under fire from Jason Monds, who's been absolutely the man to beat here at Bathurst, now coming through the grid to 3rd place. Alex Hayes, 4th place, looking for a 2nd, 4th in a row. Michael Schneider looking at his best finish in 5th. Ahead of Dule Markovic. But you got to think, Mike Mark and Martin Lauer have been eating through the grid these last couple of laps. Do they have it in them to go get Dule Markovic? But they have contact. They both recover. Fantastic car control by both men. And this battle for the final points playing position could still be on. Oh, Martin Lauer had a moment, it looks like. He had been ahead of Mike Mark. How did Mark get ahead of him? Or Mike Mark had been ahead, pardon me. But the gap had been very close. Just loses the front end by the looks of it. And that might make that battle a bit of a moot point. But this one certainly is not. Dean Reimers, at his home race, does not want to leave without any points. And he is putting the screws to Mark Klapzul to try and get that done. Klapzul gets a little bit wide there. Oh, and that's not good. It's going to promote Dean Reimers into the last points paying position. Really aggressive move from Mark Klapzul. Doesn't have quite enough in it, though. In the meantime, Genghiz Khan